falling down a rabbit hole looking at Final Fantasy art. Don't know why.
No.
Let's get rid of. And welcome, friends, to Tanked Up, the podcast all about video games, beer, Final Fantasy. Who knows? Lots of stuff on our minds recently. Let's open some beers. I'm Ben here with Lucy.
I'm here with Ben, and I'm here with Aadil.
I'm here with Lucy, and let's throw it back to Ben.
What is it?
Yes,
It's episode
Ben.
406.
something, 406.
Hmm.
Aadil, what are you drinking this evening?
I'm drinking the Siren Gather and Store.
Ooh.
It's 6.8% mixed fermentation blend. This autumnal blend is drawn entirely from beer aged and re-fermented in red wine barrels, showing beautiful mature grape character. Expect citrus and berry aromas, rustic sweet barley, fresh stone fruits, balancing acidity and drying oak tannins.
Lovely.
So a bit of
Sounds
an
good to
aged
me.
bottle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last week's
I'm
guest
all
pointed
about
out to
that.
me a couple weeks ago in the Hop Knocker, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I do want this." And you only have one bottle of it left. It's mine now.
Nice. Perfect. It always feels just that little bit better as well, doesn't it? When there's
Oh
one
yeah,
left,
when
like,
you're like, yeah, fuck all those other
yes,
people. They'll never have it.
Ah,
Lucy, what are you drinking?
yes, I'm drinking a beer from Beak, one of the
Like-
favourites at the moment,
Mm.
and I love their names. This one's called Cushy, and it's a 6% IPA.
Okay.
I'll read the flavour text. Hi, we hope you're good. Let us introduce you to Cushy, an India Pale Ale dripping in super vibrant Kashmir, Sabro, and Mosaic hops.
Yes.
That sounds decadent, that does.
Mm.
It's all peach, tangerine, and spring roses on the nose, followed by flavours reminiscent of blueberries, pot, okay, key lime pie,
Sure.
and coconut.
Did you just say
macaroons.
pot?
Wasn't expect. Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
It's such an odd.
I mean,
blueberries.
what was it called? Cushy or just Cush?
Yeah,
Ah,
Cushy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a bit more sense. But yeah, I had did a double take there. Yeah, it's got barley oats wheat. So yeah, that should be a
Good.
a nice cushiony
Nice.
beer, hopefully.
Good. Another brewery of the moment. Following on from Lucy's beer in the previous episode, I'm drinking a beer from Atom because I put an order in with them as Lucy was talking about her beer. This one is Martian Dynamo, and it's a red IPA. I chose this one out of the beers because, again, we don't get a huge amount of like red beers, red rye ales, red IPAs, those kinds of things. And I haven't had a beer like this for a while. So it's 5.3%. And the flavor text says, the Martian Dynamo describes the way liquid in the planet's core moves to make strong magnetic fields around the planet. That's it. No flavor text about the beer itself. It doesn't tell me things like hops. It just tells me it's got allergens, barley, malted barley, let's say. That's pretty much it. So yeah. I'll get this cracked open. We've definitely lost Lucy on the video.
Lucy says, "Should do a restart." Why don't we? While she does that, just have you opened your beer? You haven't.
I have
You have.
opened my
Yes,
beer. Yes,
sorry,
I haven't poured anything yet, but I have opened it.
Have you told us about it?
No.
Why don't
No, I
you
have
do
not.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pour.
One for your.
That's a lovely color. Really dark. Not quite red, but it's a very lovely, deep, sort of bronze. Really, really deep, almost like brass, perhaps. Rather than
wow,
sort of bronzy kind of color. So on the camera, it does look like it's got a bit of a red tinge to it, just at the sort of the edge where the light's kind of shining through. There is that kind of red kind of tint to it. Not so much in person, unless I pull it sort of maybe back here. Yeah, like that. That gives you like right in front of the light gives you a lovely red. And you can see right through that beer as well.
So yeah, it's
you don't think about, on camera here it actually looks quite deep and quite dark, but in front of the light it's just coming straight.
Unfortunately, the light's coming the other way for me, so I'm just seeing black. But yeah.
Oh, it's got a lovely nose. Oh, that's really sweet on the nose. Oh, that's nice. Pop with a little bit of head. It's kind of whiter and is dissipating quite swiftly. But nice and cold. Ooh, I like this. I like it, but what am I getting? So it's quite deep in its flavour. Little touch of a metallic sort of tang to it. Not much, but something in there which is maybe a little bit more earthy. Maybe giving it a little bit more of a touch of a metallic kind of taste to it. You kind of get that on the nose as well a little bit. It's kind of that little bit sort of sweet, but not massively. What are these flavors in here? This is interesting. I don't know, honestly. It's maybe like a bit of a deeper berry. Maybe not kind of like. Oh, it's sort of like dark fruits, dark berry fruits, with a bit of a metallic sort of tang to it, and then a lot of pine. So there's this earthy kind of note. This leads into this little bit of sweetness, a little bit of metallic kind of taste, and then just this big old kind of piney finish. Hey, Lucy's back properly as well now. You look much less pixelated as well.
Okay, I was just trying the audio first, just to see if that
was settled.
It's on Discord. Yeah, the internet was fine. It must have been Discord.
Yeah, fair. I've opened my beer. It's I'm starting to drink it. It looks much nicer to me than it does. It looks a bit murky on the camera to you and the viewers. But in the light, to me, it's lovely. It looks really, really nice. And really deep flavour to it. Little perfumed maybe as well on the nose. Not massively, but yeah, some deeper berries, I would say. There's almost a bit of a dark chocolate and raspberry kind of feel to it. I don't think they're the actual flavours, but there's a combination in here which is maybe more like blueberry or blackberry, something like that, with those earthy notes, which is just a reminiscent of that kind of juxtaposition of kind of dark chocolate and raspberry, which you get all the time in the world of chocolate. It's very nice. And I'm going to probably drink this a little bit slower because it's got that bit of bitterness on the end of it, because it has that kind of piney finish, which lasts a little while as well. It's not a dry beer at all. So I probably sit on this one quite nicely as well. Where we say this beer's great and we just neck them.
Yeah,
this is great, but I can take this slowly, which is great. Aadil, what comes to you for the Siren?
So it's actually interesting you brought up the coloring because mine's it's a browny red, much deeper than yours. I mean, obviously they probably look similar just because of you had a stronger light going through yours. But like holding it up to the light, it's got this lovely sort of. It's interesting. At the bottom, it's a bit orangey. At the top, it's red. So it's just like, and I can see my fingers through it. It's like reasonably translucent. Pouring it, I got an immediate hint of a wonderful, slightly floral, slightly fruit, berry, mixed firm, like yeasty kind of berry. Just like pouring it, like a foot away from my face, I could smell it. And yeah, the nose is again. I'm thinking like a bit of raspberry, maybe you said cherries earlier. A bit of raspberry, maybe a bit of dark cherry.
Okay.
As well as obviously the telltale mixed firm sort of yeasty nose, that tardiness. Really nice smelling beer. So just a underlying malty sweetness. It's I think giving that berry a bit of a cherry-ish thing. Poured with almost no head. Just almost looks flat. Almost looks like a cola actually in this light. Oh wow. Immediately let my mouth soak it up and have another taste.
Nice.
It's not so wonderfully tart. It's exactly what I was hoping for in that mixed firm. And yeah, I think the note said something about the berry aroma, which was there, but it's also there on the taste. But there is like it's this slightly citrus, slightly acidic, and a bit of oak, and then with the sort of mixed fermy, yeasty tardiness on top. It's really, really luxurious, but not thick.
Okay.
So I've like said a lot of things, and you might think that means like it's just quite a sort of a thick tasting beer, but it's actually quite light for this type of beer. It's obviously not like lager light, but like 6.8%, very drinkable, but also you don't need a lot. There's such a wonderful like melange of flavors. I really just want to take small sips and feel all those tastes sort of like blossom in my mouth.
Nice.
It's really good. Oh, yeah, this is really excellent. I really like how the berries carry through from the nose to be like a strong note on the nose, but a more subtle note on the taste. Giving space for like yeah, a little more oakiness and a little bit of like what is that citrus?
It sort of opens up as you drink it, isn't it?
Yeah,
well.
and I'm getting just all the things happening, and they're not muddled together. They're actually they sort of ebb and flow throughout the taste curve with again this like backbone of that tartiness from the firm.
Nice.
Really great. Definitely not a summer beer. I see why it said autumnal, blah blah blah. And you can tell obviously from all of what I'm saying that it was aged in red wine barrels, re-fermented in red wine barrels because you're getting all these red winey notes. Really excellent beer.
Good. Lucy, we'll come to you then.
Yeah, the Cushy.
Your weed
solid
beer.
block of yellow.
Holy crap!
Yeah, my weed beer. Yeah, lovely notes of like lemon, passion fruit, mango. You know, a bit of tropical, bit of citrus.
It's interesting. My brain jumped to the last time I had a beer that was that type of yellow. It had like hints of like a nice, lovely undertone of coriander. So as you were listening things, my brain was just like, "Oh, I had coriander." I'm like, Aadil, you're not having that beer. You're having a weird sense memory.
You know when you said that, my first smell that you've actually reminded me of when I poured it like half an hour ago after all these technical issues.
Yeah.
I was like, this smells a bit soapy.
Oh.
Like a bit like coriander. So thank you for
Right.
reminding me of that. Yeah, because had a little bit of a soapy coriander smell as well to it. It's good. I'll say that first of all. It's very easy. I mean, it's 6%. It's probably going to be a bit easy, but
Beak love living in that kind of area, don't they? They're sort of 5.5%, 6.5% kind of IPAs.
The finish is a bit thinner, a bit more clean than I would have expected. You're definitely getting those tropical and citrus fruits in at the start of the taste. You know that kind of mango and passion fruit, like a lot of chewiness to those fruits at the start, but then it finishes in like very wet and clean kind of way, which is, as I say, not something that you'd probably expect, but it's actually quite a nice change of direction where it's like the fruit isn't lingering that long, which just invites you to have taste after taste, and this will be gone very quickly. I could easily smash this back because of that really clean finish, almost like a pilsner almost. You're getting this like very delicately like malty finish. What were the other flavors I was looking? Coconut macaroons, eh? Yeah, you're getting a lot of sweetness. It says key lime pie and coconut macaroons, so you're definitely getting that sweetness, but it's not a overbearing, cloying sweetness that some of these beers have. Maybe not at this strength, but some of the like, if you're going up to double or triple, then it's sometimes like, yes, very sweet. Exacerbated by the alcohol as well. But it's got that sweetness, but it feels much more like a natural sweetness from like fruits rather than just like artificial sweetness or just overbearing sweetness. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Really easy. Really refreshing. This won't last long. So
Nice, good.
having a
We'll
cushy time.
probably all drink our beers at incredibly different rates as we go through the episode. So why don't we jump into a little bit of news, I suppose.
One last thought. I think it's those oats that are giving it that like kind of slightly sweeter kind of like taste almost.
Nice.
A nice bit of creaminess to it. So yep. Just my end thought. Carry on.
Let's talk about Nintendo for a very short amount of time. We rarely talk about Nintendo on the podcast, so let's bring them up in the best and worst way possible. Because there was some news about Embracer being absolute corporate dickheads, and let's not talk about that. It's rubbish. Because the corporation's gonna incorporate, aren't they, and do exactly what they need to do, like saddle debt on spun-off businesses and things like that.
Successful business they absorbed in their big absorption, and then are now unabsorbing, but with all the debt that all business never had.
Yep, absolutely, all the debt. Let's talk though about Gary's mod. A game we've probably never mentioned on the podcast. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you know how old Gary's mod is, by the way?
Old.
At least 25 years, right?
I think it's only 20.
At least.
Okay.
What year are we in? 2004. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That seems about right, doesn't it?
Early 2006. So it's less than 20 years.
Maybe did early access exist then?
Oh no, 2004 is when it was released. I think it was like Valve released. Because remember, it was like originally it was just Gary Newman's mod, and then it became a thing that Valve like absorbed and put out into their packet. Because like when all that Half-Life stuff came out on the Xbox, right? It was part of the Orange Box bundle. God.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking of 2001. Maybe that was the year the Xbox came out.
This is the day of facts making me feel old. My students were like, one of my students made was doing a presentation, and it was on Bayesian updates, and so they had the Meghan Trainor album title and said all about that Bays, and they like erased BASS to BAYES.
Nice.
And they're like, that's so old. And I was like, is it? They're like, yeah, it came out like 2014. We were in year 7. And I was like, oh no. It did come out in 2014.
I blew my nephew's mind today because he was talking about, I think it was Piku Niku, that game, because I gave him my Switch and that's on there. And he was talking about like, I don't like that game because you can't save or something like that. It takes you back to the beginning, which I don't think is accurate at all. But anyway, and I said to him, guess what? Back in my day, you would have to start every game over again. And the face of horror and the shock and the disgust, I just thought, bless.
Brilliant.
Kids got it easy.
My students are third years, so they're just finishing university. And they were all born after I started university.
We're at that point.
That's what that conversation was like. Meghan Trainor's so old, and then they were like, year 7. I'm like, year 7. Oh, I was like living in Halifax in the middle of my PhD when you were in year 7. And then it was like, wait, how old does that make you? And they're like, oh, we were born in 2003. And I was like, I started university in 2001.
Brilliant.
It also means that the first years in the fall will have been born in 2006, which is the year I had got 2 undergraduate degrees. Which means
disgusting.
Yeah. It was like, what's happening?
I felt old because I thought that song. I've only heard that song like in the last 2-3 years. So it's just like,
10.
How is that 2014?
Anyway.
So let's talk about this little bit of news. Only because there's been an update on the Games Rodale.
Oh, I didn't notice that it got updated.
Article. Yes. So the headline reads: Nintendo issues takedowns against 20 years of Gary's mod contents. Lots of user-created content for Gary's Mod, which is Nintendo-based, and a lot of kind of updates, or a lot of people kind of started to come out and say, we've been hit with DMCA takedowns on all of this. And the interesting part about this, because stuff like this happens all the time, right? Interesting that it's on a 20-year-old game, but you can kind of see Nintendo doing that sort of shit. The interesting spin was some reports started to come out that actually maybe these were fake, and that there was a small community or a group of people who were issuing kind of fake DMCA claims to shut down add-ons to the game. So lots of kind of people looking at the email address that these had come from and saying this is main to sort of Nintendo and all of that sort of stuff. Getting really deep into why this might be Nintendo. And there's a couple of different forum sites on Nintendo Life, places like that, which are looking at this kind of evidence. But it turns out, on a small update on the original games radar article, it says, updated today, despite rumors that the takedown issued against Nintendo related to Gary's Mod at Steam Workshop was fake. Gary Newman says, I have been assured that the takedowns have been verified by Nintendo as legit. So, you're like, oh, yeah, I can see Nintendo doing something like that. And you think, well, maybe they didn't. Maybe Nintendo don't worry about this. Oh, no, they do. Yeah. Oh, no, they absolutely have just, done all of it. It's just like...
Yeah, they've been on one recently with like all the emulator stuff. Like Yuzu, which may or may not have been installed on my computer, may still be. But anyway, yeah, they've been on a tear this year. It's both scary and sad, you can understand it from a certain point of view, as okay, Nintendo, you don't want people stealing. Well, not stealing. I don't think it's stealing at all. Like,
promise it's not even
reducing whatever revenue you'd have in the coffers. But it's like, this is the richest Nintendo have ever been, which just makes it even more scummy.
But it's also not clear at all that it's reducing anything, because it's not like Yuzu and stuff.
There's no direct correlation. I guess it's somewhat presume
20-year-old mods. Or mods in the past 20 years, but most people haven't been modding Gary's Mod for a while, right? And so it's like, okay, so what do you think is happening? This mod is like draining your value because the game, this entirely different game, has a Mario in it, and like it's a mod to a game that's like ages old, and no one's profiting from it because it's not like Roblox or. Like it doesn't have a way of people to profit off of the mods. So like, and it's not it's not reproducing stuff that you're selling.
Look, all it is there's a little analyst sitting in Nintendo headquarters, and they're getting sick of looking at the bar charts on Power BI that say, look, we're making a lot of money. So they're like, just to keep my job probably. Let me just go dig up find some part of the data that says, oh, this part of the internet is possibly eating into our profits by like 0.0 zillionth of what Nintendo currently reaping. Oh, let me send this to the lawyers who was trigger happy as anybody over there. I mean, you have to absolutely love your job if you're a Nintendo lawyer, because you're busy. So it's like one of them just on their desk, the mound of paperwork, and like, who do we have to target next? This was just the next one on the pile.
And maybe that's why it's not being done that much quicker, because there's so much paperwork to do. They can only go at a certain pace. Exactly. They can only take so many people down in a year.
So
there's a lot
that's
to
why
do.
we are at a 20-year backlog. That's why we're looking at 20-year-old stuff. They were busy taking everybody else down. So so we're finally caught up.
What happens to the Power World stuff? I know that they, again,
that's weird... what I don't understand. Like the most egregious
But the
example
problem
of
is
it.
it's not, right? Pal World is very smartly toting a line.
No, it's not even. No, there's no towing. It is Pokemon. Like when I had never heard of that game prior to it coming out. I was like, oh, did someone get like a Nintendo tie-in for their Fortnite game? That's what I thought it was. I thought it was Pokemon.
Oh yeah, but so the style. The problem is you can't copyright the art style, and there's other things that have little.
No, but it's the
Loopy
exact
things.
design of all these creatures. Like, I can't tell the difference. If you showed me a Generation 9 Pokemon and Pal World, how would I be able to tell the difference? Can you?
I mean, no, but I don't even know what a Pokemon looks like, right?
Well,
Which
exactly.
one's got the gun? One of them's
Yeah,
gonna have a
maybe
gun.
that's how you...
Like,
A
that's absolutely
Beretta? Is that a thing?
A what?
What?
Beretta?
Isn't that
sounds
a
like
brewery?
As in, it looks like a hat, but it has a Beretta.
Isn't that the gun in Resident Evil? Yeah, I don't know. There's no update.
Burrata, the mozzarella. Oh, yeah. That's tasty.
No, yeah, and then it evolves into Beretta, the hat, and then it evolves into Beretta, the gun. Its final form, and it shoots.
I'm sure there
and
is
it shoots matzo balls from the gun.
The Italians are really cross right now.
Yeah. There's a Pokemon that's like dairy based.
Well, it must be.
I think it's like whipped cream.
Curdletron? I don't know how to name these things.
I thought you meant like a cow or something. Like...
No, there is a cow Pokemon, but I swear there's like.
Oh, there's a teapot one.
Oh, I'm gonna Google it.
I know there's a teapot one.
Yes, there's a teapot one.
Yeah, maybe a ghost one. I only know about the Pokemons that like at some point make random waves in the internet, and they're like, "What a weird thing!" And I'm like, "Now I've learned my 5th Pokemon." There's
I remember from
the turtle.
Yeah, from my days. There's a ghost like candelabra. As well, like a hanging chandelier type candelabra one.
Dairy Pokemon said, "Do you mean fairy Pokemon?" It's like there is a
I'm just gonna warn you, Lucy. Don't ruin
Lucy,
your
just
Google.
be careful.
Don't
just be careful.
Yeah, don't Google Milky Pokemon.
No, just be very careful here.
Okay, I'll go to Safe Search. It's called Miltank, and it's got its teats out, so that's a Pokemon.
There's a Milcery, which is a cream-colored Pokemon resembling a splash of milk.
Is that the one I was thinking of?
Milcery.
What's it called?
Milcery.
I don't want to look at it.
It evolves into Alcremie.
Yes, that's the one.
Oh god, this is a filthy looking thing.
Well, let's move on from news in this fucking hellhole that we've got ourselves into. just Pokemon. There's not. I mean, it's not even anything weird. It's just Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like Anyway, yes, Nintendo's still Nintendoing and taking stuff down, and moving things, and doing stuff to 20-year-old games. Let's talk about some of the games we've been playing. So, more recent releases, I would imagine. And I want to sort of start with you, Lucy, because you were going to talk about Botany Manor a few weeks ago. I've been playing it as well.
Oh, where are you playing it? Steam or
here? Yes, on Steam.
I was going to say probably in his house. I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, nice. How far into it are you? I mean, there's not going to be any spoilers or anything.
No. I'm getting towards the end. I think I'm in the 5th chapter now.
Yeah.
Which is the Formal Gardens. I think the Formal Gardens. So at whatever that point is, I haven't done anything in there yet. I've walked in basically.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It's just it's the sort of game that I very much need and want, and don't want to look elsewhere because it's the epitome of cozy.
Absolutely.
It's set in. Is it the early 1900s? Sorry, I played it like 3 weeks ago. So
1800s. Yeah.
1800s. Yeah. You're somewhat of a fancy lady of the manor. And you're a botanist. In fact, as you'll come to realize playing the game, she's got all sets of skills. Like she's not just a botanist; she's a scientist of many different disciplines. Because basically, the premise is you're looking to write a book on botany, and you're researching all these different species of plants and flowers, and yeah, it's first person. I guess it's a puzzle game. It's a
It is a puzzle
first-person
game,
puzzle
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
like
sort of
the art
looks
style.
like The Witness, or
absolutely. Even so
just the colours.
interestingly, The Witness was not just the first thing that came to mind from the aesthetic and the colors, but also the idea that with the Witness at least, you do that first like puzzle in the first room, and then you walk
Mhm.
through the corridor, and then the kind of the world opens up to you, and you're
Yeah.
allowed to kind of go and explore. Botany Manor doesn't do that, but you do the first puzzle, you work out the first plant in that
Mhm.
kind of greenhouse room, and then you walk through not necessarily a corridor, but you come out of that space, walk around through the kind of landscaped area, and then you present the house sort of in front
Yes.
of you, which obviously
Yes.
contains the rest of the spaces. And it's funny that I instantly thought these people have played and absolutely loved The Witness, and they have made a game based on
Yeah.
potentially their own interests, but on this other stuff, which has clearly been very influenced
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
that game.
And this is a much easier game than The Witness, with a lot less
Absolutely.
friction.
Mm.
It doesn't rely on your understanding of line puzzles and recalling back previous learnings. Like every flower and every chapter is pretty much distinct, and
Yes.
all the clues are within the world for you to rely on. So things like newspaper clippings, things like other research books, letters from people who have said, "Oh, I came across upon this plant in this region," etc., etc.
Mm.
So there's all these in-world clues to help you suss out what these different plants are and how to get them to blossom and flower, basically.
Yeah.
Am I dumb? But I didn't find a way to like. There was no like. What I really could have dealt with, used was like a journal that kept like all the things that I had found in the world, like sort of just like a notebook. So it relied on me like sometimes taking pictures on on my Steam Deck with like my phone or a screenshot
Oh,
or something like that
Okay.
and going
Okay.
back to it, or writing things down. It's a
So
very I think writing things down would be okay, but it's like sometimes you need like the actual visualization of
Mhm.
what you've seen, like a poster of butterflies or something like that.
Yeah, so there is the notebook where you're charting all of
Hmm.
these things, and you see the picture of the flowers as they kind of come to life, and you can the clues that you find in the world, you can
Yeah,
assign them against the flowers, so you
yeah,
know kind of where to look. But you're right in that there's no
review.
yeah, there's no kind of
like log, like
illustration
yeah,
or log of those things apart from just letter or
yeah, and
book,
and
and it
it
tells you where
does
it
something where it
is.
is, which is a good thing.
So
But
it
it's
tells you.
like,
So
oh, I have to
that,
track back all the way
absolutely.
over
So
there just to see that. Yeah.
yes, that's the thing that I found, that there are a few times where you have two or three. Is it maybe chapter 4? We've got actually 4 plants that you
Mm,
need to look at. So you're collecting all of these clues, and there's lots of different things to kind of like filter out. Part of the puzzle is being able to assign those clues,
yeah.
and working out what clues fit what plants, then work out what the puzzle is to get the plant to bloom.
Hmm.
And that was the one thing that I instantly thought as well. I go into that, I'm like, oh, there was a poem on a wall or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, what did it say? I can't remember. Oh, okay. I've just now got to track back and find it to look at it. It's kind of on the wall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think if I was paying slightly more attention as I was playing it, it doesn't. It actually presents everything on the path to the next kind of puzzle
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
and it lines things up quite well. So a poster on the wall might say something, and actually the item that you need or the thing that you are meant to do is in the next room, and the
Hmm.
clue is on that poster. But
Mm.
because you're tracking
Multiple different
several
plants. Yeah.
multiple different puzzles, it's difficult to ascertain exactly what you should be doing in each room.
Yeah.
So it does get a little bit kind of messy. It's not like webbed on, you
No,
don't need to
no,
set
no,
up
no.
sort of your strings on the wall, but it can get a little bit, just a little bit
Yeah.
messy between.
When you don't know which one's assigned to which, it becomes a bit hard to compartmentalize each and every clue. Like, oh, I can't remember if this flower blooms in, like, I don't know, cold areas, and if it's the same flower that relates to, I don't know, you need this kind of pot or soil, etc. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that is literally the only area of friction that I experienced in the game. Everything else is very breezy in a good way, but still makes you think. The puzzles are just challenging enough, and there's a good variety of them. There's like,
Yep.
each flower has different, set of conditions that it needs to flower. Sometimes there's like multiple conditions. Sometimes, as I say, it's something to do with the pH of the soil. One's like wind direction. One's, lighting or humidity and stuff like that. So I've found, like, that, how many years in total or something like in the game? Maybe like 15 or something like that, or
Yeah,
maybe less.
sounds about right.
And they found like numerous distinct different ways to make puzzles out of that, and I thought that was
Yep.
really, really well done. But and what I love about it is just like the underlying, like, story in it, which is, there's no like dialogue or anything like that, but it's what you can garner from, like, there are some things like um, collectibles in the world that don't relate to the puzzles, and it's just like providing the flavor text of the game, which is, this is set in the 1800s. Marginalized voices, like, women,
Women.
people of other color. Yeah. But it's like even someone who's like of a higher status, who's like, she's got a manner, for crying out loud,
Yeah.
has a voice silence, and it's like, a lot of people who, try to um elevate her and her work, she just doesn't see any of the fruits of that labor, and it's
Yeah,
like,
still has those barriers in front of her.
yeah, and it's like, I'm sure the gamers will be like, keep your politics out of my game and stuff like that, but it's like it doesn't do it in a way that's overly melancholic or depressing or anything. It's actually quite uplifting, and how and really smartly done. It's like, yeah, this could have just been all breezy puzzles, but this gives some
Sure.
context around it, and it's actually, like, yeah, as I say, quite uplifting at the end. I won't spoil it for you, Ben,
Okay.
but it's quite a nice ending. But
Nice.
yeah, I really
I
enjoyed that part of it, and I like each newspaper clippings. Like, was it like the bathtub or something like that? And the it needed fixing by the plumber, and the plumber's
Oh
like,
yes.
"Oh, a lady of your stature should not even try to pick up a tube."
And it's
And then
actually a
you just
really
go,
easy puzzle as
yeah,
well. It's not even complicated at all.
yeah.
This
It's just like,
man's like, well,
well,
it's very difficult. I wouldn't attempt it yourself. It's like,
yeah,
That's really funny.
and
and
then
we'll
she just
charge
does
you
it. She's
like
like, "Here's the
5
cold."
shillings to
Yeah,
fix it, sort of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Screw that, I'll just do it myself." Yeah, it's just like, yeah, a bit of girl power in there. So yeah, I really appreciated that part of it. So
So
yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
it's got great reviews. A lot of things saying it's cozy and wholesome and relaxing and fun and mildly like just the right level of challenging. What's interesting is here's our I'm bringing back review roundup, and here's JPM on 12th April. This is a not recommend. 3.1 hours on record. I really enjoyed this game. The puzzles were fantastic. The setting was amazing. The guarding towards the end got super creative. I love just about everything about it. However, I leave a negative review because of the price. I beat this game in 3 hours, and even on sale, the game is $22. Everything is great with the price, but the steep price for such a short game forces me to leave this review.
Good. I thought it was going to
get
be like, this game's for SJWs. I thought it was going to be
no.
something
I
like
mean,
that. So.
the thing is that of the
This
negative
is just as
reviews,
stupid, but
of the negative reviews, it's just it's quite short for $22. I mean, I hate
but it's
that this
so
is like
good,
the
though.
repercussions of a decade and a half of triple A being like, it's 97 hours, so it's worth your 75 quid. right?
But I can say I genuinely enjoyed every minute I was playing this game, whereas something, that could be like 25 hours, I may not.
Yeah.
In fact, won't.
Won't,
Definitely won't enjoy every
It sounds like it doesn't
second.
overstay its welcome at all. I mean, I get 3 hours,
No.
$22. It's like a
mean,
movie ticket and popcorn, and you're getting 1.5 times its thing.
Yeah,
It's also
yeah.
like I just think it's an interesting thing to talk about. Where I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I'd rather smaller games cost a bit more that are just like great, like across the
Yeah.
board, great, checking all the boxes. People don't have bad things to say about it, and charging a bit more, and it going into that developer's pocket, so they can make
Sure.
a slightly
Yes.
bigger game if they want,
Yeah,
or another smaller game, and not just a little bit more for the dividends, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's an interesting place, that kind of price point, because I think if they'd have come in at maybe like £18 or something like that, or £18.99, somewhere around that kind of region, sub £20, you'd probably have a little bit less pushback. But you'd see, there's that like tipping point, I think,
It's
and it's
$22.50.
different for kind of everybody, isn't it? On stuff. I mean, I'm not even 2 hours in. Just on Steam, I'm 104 hours. No, 100 in.
Yeah.
And I've got only the last
Be worried then.
chapter. Yeah, I've got the last chapter to do, and that might be a big chunk of time. But as Lucy was saying, the variety of puzzles is really nice, and it'd be good to get into that kind of final chapter as well. With even with that review, sort of saying that this is the sort of fruition of kind of what you've been kind of building up towards. Even if I did this in 2 hours, I'm happy. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the experience. Nothing has outstayed its welcome in terms of the puzzles, in terms of the aesthetic, in terms of moving around a very well constructed, very small, self-contained space as well. So there's a few architectural questions that I have to the developers about the layout of the actual building itself and how silly it is. But lots of buildings and lots of buildings of this age were very silly in terms of their actual layouts. There's no like servant quarters and all that sort of stuff in this kind of thing. But anyway,
I mean, there's a way to leave that review. You could have had it as a positive review and just say,
absolutely.
PSS,
Warning. Yeah.
it's a bit short for people who want the longer thingy. So, but I don't think that that person did it to warn others, because most developers on the Steam page and Steam description say, not beware, but look, this is a short game. They full on say, like, this game is going to take average 4 hours or something like that. So yeah, maybe that person felt very aggrieved at that fact, but it's like,
I mean, so what I'd like,
if you enjoyed the game so much, and maybe this person doesn't know like how much, like, even with so many overwhelmingly positive reviews, how like a couple negative reviews can literally tip the tables in terms of the algorithm on Steam and negatively impact the developer. It's like
and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because a couple other reviews just said like pros, it's great, cons, it's a bit short. And then a dyslexia font is missing. Those are like the only things. What I will say is, it doesn't seem to say anything about the length in the Steam page, but I installed a mod on my Steam Deck, which puts how long to beat on every page, and I forgot. I've mostly been on Steam via that over the past few weeks. I legit forgot that it wasn't part of the thing, so I was like, oh, I wonder, like, oh, it's that short? Let me just double check. And I scrolled up on my PC Steam, I'm like, that bit's missing. Oh, it's a mod, you dumbass. But yeah, that's like, that's really great little add-on, because then while you're just like, oh, there's this like £8 game. Oh, look, it's under 10 hours. Great. I can impulse buy that and know I'll actually play it. Versus...
Yeah, like seeing games that are that short is genuinely an incentive to me.
Yeah.
I played it on Xbox via Game Pass Cloud thing on my Steam Deck, which is the ultimate way to play games. So
you don't even need a hard
drive, because I took my sweet ass time with it. Yeah, so.
And it's the right type of game, because you don't even have to worry about potential cloud latency, presumably.
Nah.
Right.
And I have to mention this. Went into the settings straight off the bat, as I do with like most games, and especially first-person games. It has a separate menu part for motion sickness, and I was like, "Thank you." So very much welcome.
You
Because I
unchecked
know
the
all
give
the
me
things that I
motion
need
sickness
to.
box.
Yes, it's me. Because I know all the things that I need to change
Mhm.
usually on a game, but this was like, here are all these settings.
And
They're
they're
in
in
the
one
other
place.
parts of the menu, but here are these settings in this part of the menu. So I really, really, really appreciated that.
That's a
Good. Nice.
funny thing on design, that like it's really strange how like a lot of people think of menus as like menus, like physical books or whatever, and you rarely see an option in more than one place, which is like very strange. It has never really occurred to me when you're like, oh yeah, they just grouped them all there. They're in the regular places, and you can find them where you regularly look. But there's also a place where they've just grouped them all, and of course it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously a thing you could do with code incredibly easily. How come I've not? How long have video games been around? Longer than 20 years. How come this hasn't been a thing of like it's such a smart, easy fix for
absolutely
things like accessibility. Like, oh, you have this this issue which gets impacted by this set of features. We'll just put one place. But obviously, if you're used to looking those places, or you only want to flip one of those things and it's not about accessibility, we're not going to park them over there, because that's what sometimes happened. I've seen in games where it's like, oh, I don't like motion blur, and sometimes it's put in accessibility instead of visual options, and they move it, right? It's like, oh, well, it can only be in one place. It's like, right, no, it can be in both.
That's such a smart
That's
thing
wild.
to do. And
sorry,
observation. As much as I cuss like Call of Duty, like they have like a quick settings menu where it's like, here are all the things that you may want to change. You know, that probably
the average person
are the most changed, or
here's the top 10 things that people change.
Yeah, resolution,
so they have that, which is good.
VSync, easy mode.
Yeah.
Sorry, controller.
Snoop Dogg skin on, which I've seen lately. It's like I only recognize the characters like when they're right up in my face, and like I shoot them, and then the camera like weirds
you
out,
can have,
and I can see like
you can have a shootout.
It's like Rick from The Walking Dead
between Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Then Groot just comes over the hill.
What is this?
And there's like a sloth character. Yeah,
I mean that's pretty cool.
Hey, I will go back to Call of Duty when they add like the Mr. Blobby skin, and I can just like fucking.
And it makes the whoop.
Blobbies around.
It's
I
like,
don't even have any guns. Just hits everything with his hand.
Yeah, you walk slower. Your hitbox is huge. You're a bright color.
Just fall over all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's what you find nowadays in all these lobbies. Like there are like at least 3 people who are just at least 3 people.
Sorry.
Who just got like machetes, and they just run around really quickly, and it's like, why are you bringing a knife to a gunfight? And the thing is that the knife is way more OP than the guns, and they're just like super speedy because they don't have any, encumbrage or whatever. And it's just like, what is this game? Who are these losers? They're worse than the snipers.
Call of Duty, the game where Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg have a knife fight.
Any final thoughts on Botany Manor, Lucy?
It's great. Play it if you can. Super chilled out game. Yeah, it's what I need. It's what I need.
Nice. Have we got any other games anyone wants to bring up this week? I've got a couple of small updates, some initial impressions on a couple of things, but wait till later if anyone wants to launch into anything.
Yeah, I'll quickly mention one and it will be quick. Gosh, what's the name of the game? Came so much. It's like a hidden
how
object.
quick it will be.
It's a hidden object game in the style of like Where's Wally or something like that.
Okay.
Or the like the ones that are based on like a French book that whose name escapes me. That I played a few years ago. But this one's called Sophia the Traveler.
Oh, I've seen. I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like £6. I just picked it up, and I'm having a good time with it. It's it's as I say, it's a Where's Wally / Waldo where you're just looking at these very big, sprawling, like hand animated and hand drawn maps, and you're just finding things in them. It plays nicer, as we've discussed on the podcast earlier this year, than Hidden Through Time 2. Just easier to navigate. I'm playing it on Steam Deck as well, and it's like, oh, this is just easier to manipulate the camera, zoom in and out, and just like actually click on the thing that needs clicking.
Which
Yeah,
inputs do you use on the Steam Deck?
Sorry?
Which inputs do you use on the Steam Deck?
It's just use the joysticks to move around, L1 and R2 or L1 and R1 to zoom in and out.
Okay.
I think you can also use the mouse and stuff
Yeah, so I was
like
just
that.
wondering, because the Steam Deck has all these options, just when you said it was easy to navigate, I was curious, was it because you were using like the touchscreen at certain points and the joysticks, and like, because you could kind of do all of it,
use
right?
the touchscreen on it. Yeah.
Anyway,
The thing with Hidden Through Time is that it felt like the hitbox was a bit dodgy and a bit off on that, so it seems like you need to hit a more of a specific place, whereas this seems much more
forgiving.
But yeah,
Is it
it's
by
one
the
of
same
those.
developer?
There's
There's
a
Traveler Through Time bundle on Steam where you can get Sophia the Traveler, Hidden Through Time, and Hidden Through 2 as a bundle.
I didn't think so. This is made by Thermite Games, Sophia the Traveler.
It's published by Thermite, developed by
yeah, Labyrinth City. Pierre the Maze detective is the
we've talked
French
about that
one based on the French books that I was on about. Thermite Games. Maybe it was a publisher that I saw, but I'm pretty sure they were in Asia.
Right. Okay.
Hidden Through Time is Rogueside. They must have just they've combined. There is a bundle, but
they do that. Like multiple developers just contributing to the same.
That's a really smart thing for them to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, combined forces.
But again, Sophia the Traveler looks that little bit more detailed. Even though the art style is kind of similar to Hidden Through Time, at least in the characters and things like that. Yeah, it's really detailed.
Huge,
those screenshots on Steam, even the one that's inside a building that's got like a big pirate ship in the middle of it. There's a lot going on.
Massively detailed and just huge and sprawling, and it's like it's an undertaking. I think it would be nice if they had a few more things to find per
map or
level, but there is still quite a lot to find anyway that they give you clues to. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's enjoyable so far. I swear, because like every little character has like, if you press on it, it's like has some like kind of like sound bite. I'm pretty sure some of them are just ripped audio from like Google Translate, because that's genuinely what it sounds like. Someone put in I don't know, my hat into Google Translate and went like, okay, let's have it in Italian, let's have it in French, let's have it in Spanish, So yeah, but the enjoyment of those games is like looking at all the other like Easter eggs that aren't necessarily things that you have to find, but that are quite amusing and stuff like that. So yeah, recommend it. I think it was like £6 or something. I'm working my way through it.
Good. The only other game I'll mention at the moment, probably talk about it maybe a little bit in another episode, is a game called Sweet Transit. Which the name
like Mini Metro or something.
Well, sort of. It's more a city builder, but a city builder very heavily looking at train lines, train connections between resources in towns and things like that. So it has a very, very light city builder kind of element, more in the vein of, I suppose, more recently something like SteamWorld Build, or maybe like more like the Anno games actually, where you farm resources and distribution points. You have to link those distribution points together. That then gets distributed to a radius around it to houses, and that houses can be upgraded in various levels to get different layers of the laborers or the next one is called Craftsman, I think.
Mhm.
But it's really built around the idea of trains, essentially. And I'm like, cool, I like this idea. The thing I would have liked much more is if it wasn't just trains. Like if it was kind of cars or lorries, if it could be a little bit more variety in what you're looking at doing. The idea that's called transit suggests that there might be slightly more than one mode of transport kind of within this. And I'm always chasing the idea of a transport tycoon alike kind of game where you can just move resources from town to town or place to place and do it in a variety of different ways. And it brings the city builder element in. So you are building these villages, you're towns, you're getting all of the workers to come in to then take them to various coal mines or clay pits or quarries, these kinds of bring the resources back into your town to let it kind of stuff. And I am liking it so far. It feels very complex though. The train systems in and of itself simple enough, but it's still quite a complex system. This isn't just a train goes one way and hits the station and then just automatically back. You have to do the loop on the end of your system, on the end of your get the train to turn around.
Right.
Want it to run back down the same layer of track, or it has to have somewhere to go basically. So it feels like they've really thought about the way that trains kind of and exactly how that interacts with the rest of your kind of built environment, I guess. And I can see this getting to a point where you would think, oh, you're going to have these really like grimy Victorian era settlements where you've just got train stations and depots and it's right in the middle of, and the train line literally cuts through your villages and your towns.
Like HS2.
You're like HS, like pretty much every UK city essentially. But it feels like authentic in that kind of way. Really have to consider the layout, basic relation, train lines, and where things are kind of. And I think it's almost more a city builder for like model train enthusiasts, because you could go to town on this kind of thing, and it's more that sort of layer of thing, much more than say like Railroad Tycoon, which again is a game from fucking years ago now, which hasn't ever really had much of an update. But this sits in that kind of space, but thinks maybe a little bit about the city building elements and the resource kind of management in terms of growth for these sort of towns and cities. So I'm liking it so far. It's going to live or die for me on the simplicity of running those train lines. Basically, I want it to be easy enough that I want to be able to put some thought into it, but for it to not get so overly complicated that I just sack off the idea that you can have sidings or trains running, multiple trains on one track, and having the sorts of signals that allow you train, allow the other ones to go through, and those kind, rather than just building an individual track for every single train that I ever have. So yeah, I've got some.
That's not what a real city would do.
Exactly.
Shall we become like train model aficionados?
Little model train enthusiasts.
Yes. Shall we do that? Shall
we could. How much money have you got? Those things aren't cheap.
I know.
I have.
That's the problem, isn't it?
I have a couple Lego trains. I have the cargo train and the residential train station. And a whole
Lego's
bunch of
also
track.
expensive though.
That's true.
Oh yeah, it's not cheap. But that's all I got. That's the closest to model trains I've got, and I've never actually built them because what am I gonna do? Build like the train station and put it on a shelf? Because I don't have space to like put a Lego scale train anywhere.
Oh, have I got a video game for both of you?
It's a
If you like
training day.
Lego,
Sorry.
if you like Lego and you like trains, Lego Loco from, gosh, that would have been the 90s, I think, or early 2000s. I loved that game. Played it on PC. It's a very dumbed down. It's like a baby's first
Transport
city
game.
building game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just build train lines, and you basically would just want to populate your town, which happens automatically. But the first time I saw like different types of Lego people, like just spawn. It's like, oh, there's a new type. It was literally like seeing Jesus. As like a 9-year-old. So yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should download that. You must be on
Mate.
like My Abandonware or something.
Oh, there
Like,
might be a link
as
in the
we-
chat.
As we've had in previous quizzes, Lego made a fucking load of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
in,
played
in,
a lot
in
of
the
them.
90s.
Before they found their winning formula, right? Of the be a minifig and wonder about punching things.
Yeah, I played a lot of them, and a lot of them I have a fondness for, to be honest. They were average games. They weren't bad games. They were average. But for someone who loved Lego, like I just think of like the Lego games that kids have now, and just think, God, I would have stabbed someone, but for these kind of games,
Yeah, sort of. I
would
mean,
have killed a man. Yeah.
I'm sad that the like Minecraft likes never like the Lego Worlds type ones never really took off.
Oh yeah, those Lego Worlds,
Because like, and the thing is, like, they've made the I played the Avengers one. I thought that was cool, but very produced. But it was like kind of tied to some movies. But like, same thing with the Star Wars Complete Saga, which I think I reviewed for the site. It was cool. The coolest parts were the like hub worlds, where they were open worlds and you just like messed about, and there were like mini quests, so to speak, or collectibles, or like things to figure out to get collectibles. And then the levels were more of the same, with a lot of like cutscenes and animated stuff. It's like, I don't want to watch. I know you're basing it on the whole Star Wars thing, but I don't need nor want to watch Star Wars.
But they put their own spin on it. Had like little gags in it.
So the thing is, I think it's the saturation. I hit a saturation point. So I liked that.
Yes.
I liked it in the like OG Indiana Jones era, but it was like it wasn't great animation, and they were very few and far between. And then you get to the Marvel superheroes ones, or whatever it was called, and it was okay. It was like felt produced, but they were still spread apart. So you had these cutscenes that were gaggy, but if the humor didn't hit, it was okay, because it'd be a while until you hit another one. And then this one, it just felt quite concentrated, and it just
the Lord of the Rings ones was good because they kept the voice acting for those. And it was just like watching Lord of the Rings again.
Only better.
Yeah.
Because Boromir doesn't die. He just sort of.
Yeah, probably one of those.
Spoilers.
That was definitely a gag. Yeah. Super creative, but yes.
And by the way, I still
we have too many of these now.
Fairly reviewed. Like, I liked the game. I just like that. I don't like the trend. It's sort of indicating, right, of making it more loaded with pre-made content. Because what I like about the Lego games is you can kind of like choose your way of getting the things, and there's a lot of looping back because you don't have the right person to unlock the skill, etc. And you can choose to like just kind of, because the levels themselves aren't full of stuff. When you loop back, you're not watching the same bad joke that was good the first time but really bad the third time. And like, I often like in these games, if I'm like not feeling a level, I'll just go back and see what I can unlock in previous levels, versus like do a full loop when you know how you have all the powers, and then go back to the earlier levels. I like going back sort of willy-nilly, and that, but then if you have these cutscenes of cheesy gags, they really hit poorly the third or fourth time, right? So minor thing. Anyway, so Lego Loco versus Street Fighter. No, what was it? Sweet Transit?
Sweet Transit, yes. Which I think is a terrible name the game.
Yeah, that is
Well,
odd.
yeah, I was gonna ask you about the title.
I mean,
Is
it's
it
just
like
the title,
candy
innit?
trains or something like that? I don't know.
No, I mean it's just
Yeah.
all normal trains and shit so far.
Sweet.
So
That's
oh
what you
yeah,
get in all those.
sweet transit, mate.
Yeah, those real train model geeks. You call it, yeah.
But, like,
these sweet
I
model
think
trains.
it's really
yeah.
strange because all of the Steam page that does like initial description and then the longer description about this game, it's very dry city builder copy.
Yeah.
You would think if you're gonna have a game called Sweet Transit, you would like sell it along the same
Yeah.
lines of the tone of the
Have
name.
Candyland trains, yeah. or
Unless
something,
it's
I
like
don't know.
the transit company is like run by the Sweet family.
Yeah. Maybe.
Who knows?
You're
Maybe it
Marjorie
is.
Sweet. You are the granddaughter of patriarch of the Sweet.
Jeremiah
Well,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yes, I'll report back maybe a little bit. Maybe I'll find out. Maybe that I highly doubt.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Good.
But it's very it's definitely a game that isn't for everybody. You would definitely have to be in the mood and like trains and train management simulators to enjoy this game. Cool. Have we got time for a little quiz? Is there a little quiz?
Yeah,
Lucy?
sure. I was just checking if I had played any more games.
Ooh.
Just a little gator game, which is sweet. Couple hours, another comfy, relaxing, chilled out game. So yeah, also on Game Pass. So
What was it called?
check
Sorry?
that out.
What was that one?
Little gator game.
Oh.
Gator
Little
is an
gator game.
alligator. Little gator game.
What's the
yeah,
premise? What type of game is it?
It's like it's like Short Hike.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, just like that. Like similar-ish runtime, maybe a bit longer, and just yeah, you
Walk
know
time?
what?
Oh yeah,
Walk
yeah,
time?
I've seen this.
Yeah,
Because you don't run that much in Short Hike.
yeah.
Hike
Very
time.
good.
It's been a while since I've
move.
had
Let's
that
move,
Lucy
yeah.
reaction to my dumb jokes. That was good.
Right. Are we ready?
No, we're
Oh,
not.
yeah,
I have
yeah.
to
Bring the
switch
sound
to
a little bit.
this
Good.
window
Good.
and
Some of the
open
games
up
on
my
computer.
soundboard.
Nice.
Yeah, so I like the
I'll
sound
definitely be the
trumpet,
duck.
but
Yeah.
like it's very long.
It is very long, absolutely.
That's quick.
Golf
That's
clap takes
too
a while.
Yeah,
just the quack.
No,
the
I
quack
think the
is
quack
just...
and the air horn. Fuck it. Sorry, I'm
Cool.
annoyed at myself
Cool.
for hitting
Cool.
that more than once.
We're ready. We're ready, Lucy.
Okay.
Are you ready, Lucy?
Ready as I'll ever be. First game.
All right, what are we doing? Game.
Yes.
Leaning forward. Taking this
Okay.
seriously.
Oh, I should put my hand on my mouse just to collect, shouldn't I?
Ready?
No, I don't think we are, Lucy.
Okay.
Ben's
Go
like,
on.
all right, I've got a noise, but no way to make it.
Do you quack?
Yeah.
The title's goose game.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Insane Dr. Blank has recruited Blank, Master of Time, in another mad attempt to take over the world.
Oh, hang on.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I don't think.
You don't think we got it?
Yes, Ben?
Crash
No.
Bandicoot 3.
He does.
Cortex's Revenge. Or whatever
How
that's
did
called.
you get that?
No, it can't
Master
be.
of Time. Yeah, it is. I'll give you Crash Bandicoot 3. It's called Warped, but yeah.
Damn, that's...
It has. I said
yeah.
no, they can't possibly have it because
No.
who does
Hey,
from?
I was it kind of threw me a little bit because it's Cortex, you know, the whole time thing in Crash Bandicoot. But I'm like, is he Dr. Cortex? Is
Dr.
that what the
Neo
name?
Cortex.
Yeah.
Because I was just gonna read. I wasn't even gonna say Doctor. I was just like gonna say Insane Blank.
Oh, I just assumed it was the dumb Sonic RPG. And it was Dr. Robotnik, and I assumed the dumb Sonic RPG where he makes up with a human woman had time travel, but I couldn't remember which one it was, so I was like, oh shit, I knew this guess was probably wrong, but I can't even remember the name of this dumb.
Wow.
Well done. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll read the rest. Crash Bandicoot is ready for them, helped by his sister Coco and their friend Aku Aku. But Cortex has another surprise. He's unleashed an evil from the dawn of creation. Aku's twisted twin, Uka Uka. So creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice.
Right.
You know, I've literally played my first 45 seconds on Crash Bandicoot was last Christmas at the Malpasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were playing it randomly when I was visiting, and I was like, and they're like, oh, they passed me the controller. Like, you want to go? I'm like, okay, so what does what? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've never played this game in my life. And meanwhile, they're having this nostalgia fest of they both grew up playing this game.
X's Jump.
Yeah.
Which one did you play?
I don't know. One with the
remake,
with the Bandicoot.
Yeah, I remember talking to Alex about the playing the remake. Yeah.
Remake? Yeah.
Two's the best.
But I mean, Christmas 2022.
Yeah, so it was I think it was the remake they were playing.
Yeah, I think that
which I just realized. I was just like, oh, I just played it the other day. I'm like, oh no, it's been over a year though. Speaking of time passing.
Yes, like 18 months. Okay, game number 2. Play the exclusive all-new story. His soul locked in perpetual servitude. Blank lights up the night skies as his alter ego, the Blank. Help him protect others from experiencing his hell on earth by bringing evil villains like... I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, because don't know anything about this property. Evil villains like blank, blank, and blank to justice. All new
anything.
All new story from the comic masterminds. Blank and blank. Deadly combat on foot or on the blank. Defeat foes with special combination moves, including blanks, deadly penance.
Oh fuck!
Unlock secret characters, hundreds of pages of the classic blank comics, making of footage, and more. One player.
Don't know. Start. What's the first sentence again, Lucy?
His soul locked in perpetual servitude.
Wait, is this? Damn.
Spawn.
It's not
the game.
Spawn.
Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The movie, the game, right?
No Nicolas Cage to be seen.
Yeah, but it's Sorry, I was like, it's a Marvel property. It's not Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
Deadly Penance Stare is what gave it to me, though. Weirdly,
if it was a Constantine game, and that was the Crash.
I was like, oh, it's one of these stupid devilly Marvel games, Marvel heroes, and then I was also thinking Spawn, but I knew Deadly Penance Stare wasn't it rang a weird Marvel bell.
Right. Yeah.
I had no idea why, but I was just like,
to me. Yeah.
Okay. That's
because he starts out as like the judger, right? Like he captures criminals and takes them to hell, right? And then so he has his flaming face and he looks at them and they die or something. That's his deadly penance stare, and it's penance because they deserve it because they're murderers or whatever. Yes, he's bringing them to justice. Not familiar with the
property.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Don't think I've. I just don't think I've ever seen that film.
Or
is it John Travolta as Nicholas?
Was there a face-off game?
I've seen about 100 times.
I was going to say there must be a face-off game.
I must
wait for that one to come out.
If there is, I'll be cracking out whatever console. When did that come out? 95?
95.
God, fuck knows.
Well, 98.
Oh damn it! There is a face-off game, but it's an ice hockey arcade
game. Different thing.
The movie came out in 1997.
Yeah,
97. Yeah. What a film. Someone needs to make that on like itch.io. like a PlayStation 1 era.
What would it even
Hey,
be?
son.
Like,
I don't know.
Oh,
just a
it's
speedboat
got
thing.
it's got to be like a hidden object game.
oh, we got to find their faces just
Yeah,
just fall
yeah,
on the
Make the
floor.
exactly.
bomb or something
And
like
you find
that,
like,
yeah.
oh, their signature weapon, because there was so much like, oh, this is his gun, so that you could be like,
Yes. Yeah.
that kind of crap.
I might need to
Or
watch
it's
that
like
again.
it's like a dating sim, visual novel,
Oh.
and then you woo someone as the one, and then
John
you come
Woo
back as the
somebody.
other.
Yeah. John Woo somebody, yeah.
Put them through the table.
Game number 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were
Blank.
playing a game.
The blanks have been taken over by Blank and his blank army. All of the blanks have been transformed into blank statues, and only Blank is left. There's the English. Oh, it's all the same thing, just in different languages, and that's it. That's
it.
Wait, Lemmings
yeah,
4.
that's literally it.
Lemming 4's Revenge. So all of the blanks have been blanked in the blank. What?
Have been taken over by Blank and his blank army. All of the blanks have been transformed into crystal statues,
Ooh.
and only Blank is left.
So
One
it's
player,
one player.
Choose.
memory card, 1 block,
Yeah, obviously it's one block.
analog control compatible.
I hate you right now, Lucy.
Vibration
PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah. PlayStation
For
1.
ages.
Statues.
For ages 3 to 10, 11 to 14, 15 to 17, and 18 plus.
Oh, good.
Wait,
Everyone.
they did it in
For all
ranges?
ages. Yeah.
They definitely didn't do that
Yes.
in North America. So it's a race of things which has a named character, so it's none of the... Not like rabbits.
No, I don't think they
You
would have existed
know-
in.
No, I just mean it's not
interactive
like that, like
video.
lemmings or rabbits or whatever, where it's just like a bunch of things.
Sure.
Developed by Insomniac Games.
Oh, that I feel like that should be a hint.
Yes.
With crystal statues.
Literally one of my favourite.
No, it's gone.
All of the people except
Maybe
Spider-Man.
the first game-ish. Oh yeah, because it's PlayStation.
Crystal statues. I don't know. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Was that Insomniac?
Neither you play this game. No. Maybe it was a little after your grown-up times. I don't know. Aadil, you didn't really have PlayStation.
I didn't.
so
Yeah, I don't. This is why I'm usually bad at this.
It's a massive property.
It's throwing me. I think that the crystal statue thing, the invading army kind of thing, is just.
It's been owned by Sony,
and
it's also been owned by Xbox, Microsoft.
Oh.
Who did Microsoft buy recently?
What properties have moved?
Well, this one's moved a fair bit. Think of mascot platformers.
No.
Oh, go on. Mascot. Spyro.
Yes.
2.
Spyro moved to Microsoft?
I'll take your first answer. Yes, Spyro the Dragon.
The first one? What the fuck? Crystal statues? I
Don't
not
you
remember
remember?
that. No,
Yes, that was the whole thing. And like,
definitely played.
Yeah.
Definitely played it, but I don't
They're
remember
in
it.
crystal
at all.
statues. Every single dragon was at the start of the game. He turned it, put all of them in. Yeah,
I have never even seen a clip
to
of
be
a
honest,
Spyro.
like, oh, you heathen. But you know, considering how well you guys do, like, this is literally probably the only game I would get from the description, and none of the rest. So, you know.
Did you had a PlayStation 1, right? Did you play this game?
Yeah. Yeah, I played
Yeah.
Spyro. Yeah. I don't remember it till...
Probably my favorite game from that
I also
generation, to be honest.
didn't know it was Insomniac.
No. The most
It's
Spyro
just
thing I
so
remember
good.
is when it was remade in Dreams.
The most Spyro one I know is Graph. Do you remember that thing from our youth?
Yeah, Evelyn's got one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? It's still kicking about?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Spyro, Graph.
Yeah. Okay. 2-1 to Ben. Fourth game.
Oh shit, we're doing more than 3. I keep forgetting. I always think it's a 3-round game, but it's a 5-round game.
Your name is blank, and you are the best field operative of a secretive NSA sub-agency.
Oh, NSA. Oh,
Sent to execute desperate missions, you're the last resort of your government. Should you be captured or killed?
Oh, who was that first?
I'm not sure.
I think
you go
I
first.
heard
You
the
go
air
first.
horn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Tom Clancy TM Splinter Cell?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good old Sam Fisher.
Yep.
Yeah, your name is Sam Fisher, NSA, Desperate Missions. You are a Splinter Cell.
I knew it was a Tom Clancy game, and I was like, shit, which one of these fucking stupid series was it? So as soon as you said NSA, I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, I know the category.
I do like how we got it exactly at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, so this is the tiebreaker.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I thought for sure Ben was going to sweep me this week.
Hey, I'm still
know,
I'm still impressed by the Dark Angel pull, to be honest.
Especially considering I never actually watched the show. I only walked by my housemate watching it. And being like, isn't Jessica Alba so hot? To the point that his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife and the mother of his children, was like jealous of Jessica Alba and Sarah Michelle Gellar because he talked about them so much.
I mean, yeah.
Man, undergrad boys are the worst.
But hey, they were just fantasies.
Science
I
fantasy.
can't remember if we've had something similar to this.
Spyro.
I could check.
2.
But
let's just do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
we'll go with it. Yeah. You have spent an eternity fighting in the arenas of the blank. Only the strict devotion to a single mantra, kill or be killed, keeps you alive. However, the unrelenting battle makes you more powerful than your captors could ever imagine. You will be imprisoned no longer, and the road to freedom will be paved with the blood of your oppressors.
Jesus. It's not Jesus, by the way. I don't think.
I'm just gonna say Gladiator.
the movie, the game. Yeah.
I don't think it is because I know that plot's different, but like, yeah.
This will definitely help you. The game features. Compete in 6 different game types, including deathmatch, team-based capture the flag, and the all-new elimination. Wreak havoc through 35 challenging arenas.
Yeah, okay.
Quake Team Arena.
Quake 3 Arena.
I'll give it to Aadil. It's Quake 3 Revolution. Yeah.
So I hesitated when you rang in because I was like, wait, is this like the first Unreal tournament? What was the premise of that? Because it was one of those two.
Yeah, that's where my mind probably would have gone.
My favorite of those arena e-shooters from that era is Unreal 2K4. Unreal Tournament 2K4.
Yeah. I'm a big Quake Team Arena.
Yeah.
This one was a bit dicey.
I think I played that one.
It could have gotten. Yeah.
I don't think I played Revolution. Was it Revolution?
Yeah, I
Revolution.
didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Did it come out on the
PlayStation
PC?
2.
Or was it one of those weird ones?
Yeah. No, because like there's probably a million versions of like Quake and Quake 2, where it's like you didn't need the subtitle for that one. It was going to be.
Oh yeah, Quake 3 Revolution brings the
number.
fast and furious first-person action of Quake 3 Arena to the PS2. So it is Quake 3 Arena for the PS2.
Yeah.
Is that what you said then?
You said Quake
Wait,
2.
you didn't say Quake.
I didn't say Quake 3. I
Yes,
just said
that's-
Quake Team
That's
Arena.
what I was looking
Yeah.
for. Yes.
Yeah. But Quake,
Good, because
yeah.
otherwise I felt
Yeah.
bad. I wanted the number specifically.
Yeah.
I should clarify that first.
Yeah.
'cause- I mean, was
I
there
think
a Quake 4?
we're tied now.
Yeah, there was a Quake 4.
Yeah, but no more. Because ID3
No one
went
played
out
it,
of
did they?
business, and Quake 4 didn't do well, I think.
Yes, you are tied. Aadil, you have 3, and Ben, you have. And as I said, Aadil guessed the wonder years.
My half
It's
point, or
the-
whatever it was.
That's the asterisk. If we contact.
Do we actually?
Maybe on a.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Ben and me only podcast. I'll
So
have to
I'm in the
get a film on
Dominican
for it.
Republic for a family wedding from May 4th to the 11th.
Nice.
So I will miss the May 8th or whatever it is, Thursday.
Cool.
So not
Okay.
next week, but the week after.
Week
so
after, sure.
you can
Oh
do
my god!
a
When you
DVD
say
box set.
May, I thought that was like, oh, you're telling us like months in advance.
No,
Just
2 weeks.
Like next week.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Don't get me started on this.
I was like, why are you telling us now?
I'm being good at not saying,
like
"Oh yeah, in
December.
7 days." I'm remembering it's in like
That's
12.
crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah, so you should figure out a box set to give Ben for that episode.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will.
nice. Good plan.
I
Good
will.
plan. Cool. Let's finish up the episode there for this week. Does anyone have final thoughts on beers for today?
Mine's
Mine
great.
was really good. Yeah. I finished it like probably an hour ago, so it's
So-
very good.
I actually just finished mine during the game because it
Me
was
too.
exactly what I said. Was this it's got a nice enough finish and there's so much going on that none of it changes with a big sip or a small sip, and it's so enjoyable that I just was drinking it slowly because I wanted to I just wanted that taste, and I didn't need a lot to give me what I wanted. I could stretch it across this hour and a half recording or whatever. Yeah, really, really excellent. I will say the like red winey berry notes came a little more forward by the end. She got a little more of that red wine, so some of that the tardiness I got acclimatized to. Some of the citrus kind of faded a bit. So over the hour and a half, still really good, but it just got a little more like red fruity, boisterousy near the end, but still obviously in the same delicate description I had at the beginning.
Nice. Good. I would say about the Atom, the flavour at the start was exactly the same as the flavour at the end. My palate, whilst it didn't need to get used to kind of anything, and it didn't dull as I drank the beer. It was just as flavourful right at the end as it was, just to the same sort of intensities. And so that's very well to be able to maintain that kind of level as well. But as with yours, it took me a while to drink it because I could just sit and luxuriate with it and not kind of have. It wasn't dry, so I didn't have to knock it back, but didn't want to knock it back because those flavors just lasted so long. So yeah, good.
Great.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us this week. You can get us at TankTopCast on the socials. You can go to outoflives.net or look at the Outoflives YouTube to see our faces and the beers that we've been drinking. If you're playing any of the games that we played, let us know. Chat to us about them in the Discord, and we can drop you a link to that as well. Or if there are any beers that you would recommend, come and let us know. We can try to drink on an episode or not, or just to enjoy ourselves. I'm Matt Nova 47. Lucy is.
And Juicy Loose 9.
And Aadil is.
At the Omniarch.
And I think that's everything for us this week. Thank you for joining us. We've been tanked up. Bye.
Bye. Summer's around the corner.
Ciao.
www.outoflives.net